Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first rough thrown together podcast that we're doing today. But I've got Shay Craig here, who is the man responsible for putting all this equipment together, because I had no idea. So Shay, thank you first and foremost for doing that, because I had no idea what I was doing. So, but we're set up, we're good to go, and we've done a practice of the phone calls. They're all working.
We called Andrew Lee.
We called Andrew Lee, we did indeed. He had no idea it was being recorded, so I've been having so much fun with this piece of equipment, knowing that I can record people, and prank calls are going to open up, all sorts of stuff. I want to prank call arm wrestlers, I think that might be another series anyway. But the topic that I wanted to talk about with you today, Shay, because you're someone who's been in the sort of entertainment space for a long time. Arm wrestling has been a sport that has struggled to get to the masses outside of the tight-knit community that is arm wrestlers. What are your thoughts? Like, how do you take arm wrestling to people that have never seen arm wrestling before?
I think people just don't understand it. That's what it is. There's certain things like music, and there's certain things like a lot of mainstream sports that I think people that understand it, even if they don't do it.
Yeah.
But people that don't do arm wrestling, they just don't see it.
I think so many people, if you the problem is, if you Google search arm wrestling videos, the things that come up are two Instagram model bodybuilders sitting there doing some ugly arm wrestle. And the problem is that video has 10 million views, where videos of actual professional arm wrestling, very little. Yeah. So the average Joe doesn't know what arm wrestling actually is about.
Yeah, well, the first thing that comes up when I look it up is arm breaks.
Yeah.
And that's what comes up with anyone that I say arm wrestle, that I tell that I arm wrestle. If I say I arm wrestle, they go, "Ooh, geez, you're gonna break your arm."
Yeah.
I say, well, I've rolled my ankle many times in basketball, but I've never broken my arm doing arm wrestling.
It's a funny thing, the old arm break thing as well, because so many people who know that arm breaks happen are really scared of the sport. Unlike like compared to, say, rugby, arm wrestling has very little injuries compared to other sports. Like when I went to World Championships 2015, there was 7,500 matches took place, and there was no arm breaks. There was one soft tissue injury that happened during that whole period. So once you know how to be in the sport safely, you're going to be okay. It's the big gym junkies that never been coached. They're the ones at risk. So that makes sense. G'day, brother. Do you want to say hello? Yeah. What's this? I can't hear you. What's that, buddy? A broken pedal on your bike. Okay, I will fix it later, buddy. Thank you for dropping in. But yeah, so arm breaks aside, I think that is one of the reasons why people don't get into the sport, and why people don't see it as a potential entertaining sport. I do know that, I was someone who loved arm wrestling when I was a kid. At high school, I thought arm wrestling was great. I arm wrestled my dad all the time. Yet it took me till age 27 to discover that there was any sort of professional capacity in it at all. And it was a total fluke that I did discover it. How did you discover arm wrestling?
Well, I was always pretty good at arm wrestling at school. Like, I was always a little bit stronger than all my friends and stuff. But it was definitely was Devin Larratt that I seen on YouTube that sort of made me want to have a go. Came down to the club and met you guys, and it's really fun, really exciting. But I think one of the with Devin Larratt doing this betting thing, I think that'll open up a lot of opportunities for other people to.
We're gonna go into depth with Devin in a few days' time. I'm gonna really pick his brain on what that is. But I agree. I think that people gambling on the sport of arm wrestling will bring it to people, because Australians will bet on anything, and I'm sure it's not just Australians. And people will bet on anything, and if there is a market for some giant guy against some skinny guy, they're going to be like, oh, this is a sure bet. But then, as we as arm wrestlers know, it's very different. But I look forward to talking with Devin about that one. But one thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of what makes sport entertaining is, the problem is, if you look up professional arm wrestling at the moment, you see, like, if you look up any tournament that's happened in the US or anywhere, you see this very mediocre product. You see a live stream from someone's phone of what looks like pub arm wrestling at best. Even though those athletes may be professional arm wrestlers and elite arm wrestlers, it looks incredibly average. So I think
Yeah.
we have a responsibility to make it look better.
Yeah, make it look more exciting. Like even like athletics and stuff like that, you don't see very big footage of that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think the key to making any sport entertaining is not the sport itself. It's the story in the build-up to the event. Take McGregor and Mayweather.
Yeah.
The match was alright, I guess, but the boxing match itself was not the reason why the world was engaged. The world was engaged with the story of this build-up that went for 6 months or whatever, and they're trying to now do it again in the octagon. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that's another discussion. But the point being, it's rare to see arm wrestlers or arm wrestling promoters actually tell a story about their event prior. They just advertise it to arm wrestlers, they put it on. And I've seen many organizations put on great events in the post-production side of things, but not many tell a story prior to the event. So the angle that I'm taking, that I know, like with my I did it with Justin Bishop and I pumped out heaps of videos prior, and we got a great global audience as a result of it. I've got the Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling Championships on April 14, doing the same thing. I'm taking the marquee arm wrestlers and building a little promotion for each of them, because at the end of the day, when people turn up to watch a tournament, like when non-arm wrestlers turn up to watch a tournament, they are only going to care about coming to that event if they've made some sort of connection with one of the people competing. And Ryan's a farmer. People are going to like Ryan. I'm filming one of Lachlan Adair, as you know, you helped me out with it with the audio side, and he wants to be portrayed as the angry gym junkie. So people are going to gravitate to one or the other, and I want to get more. So I think the more we tell stories about events, the more the non-arm wrestlers are going to start taking notice. And then, yes, we still need to have a good post-production. We can't have people in thongs and jeans.
Yeah.
It's got to be uniform. Like, the Zloty looks good because they're all wearing the same thing.
So your idea is to have tournaments that have stories behind each competitor.
Very much.
So you see a couple of people come up to the table that you don't know, you don't really care who wins, you don't really care who loses, but if you know who they are or where they come from, or
that's
how good they are, a lot of people love watching like in AFL, a lot of people love Dustin Martin, and then they love Buddy Franklin, and they know he's going to kick a goal, Or they see, people see Devin Larratt come up the table, they know he's going to stop whoever tries to pin him.
Yeah. Yeah, the story is everything, because at the end of the day, I think that we can all, as arm wrestlers anyway, agree that unfortunately the product of arm wrestling itself is not that entertaining. Particularly like purist style, WAF style. You see matches lost on fouls, you see setups dragging on for 3, 4, 5 minutes, you see slips that take forever to strap. Like, the live viewing experience of arm wrestling is pretty below average. But we can tell a story, make it exciting, and then with good post-production editing and commentary, I think you can tell a story. And then if you tie that in with betting, perfect storm. But yeah, so I think the thing is, arm wrestling is still nowhere in terms of traction. We've had people with big money try it with WAL. UAL's had big money thrown at it. The Europeans do it with PAL.
And these are all arm wrestlers that throw money at it too.
Yeah, that's it. I think many arm wrestling promoters have gone broke or lost a lot of money trying to put on good events. And it's unfortunate, but I honestly think that from the bottom up, arm wrestlers, we need to grow stories and profiles from the grassroots up. And the good thing is we're in a time where global distribution of content is free. Facebook, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. It costs you nothing to get that sort of stuff out. So we've got to take hold of that. And so hopefully we can do that. Well, that's what I'm trying to do anyway. So, yeah. But how good is this audio setup, Shay? You have absolutely nailed it. I think you've. This is really exciting, guys. I don't know. I hope you like this. I know this is a rough one. We've got Bradley coming in a million times saying g'day. You want to say g'day to everyone, Brad, one more time? No, you're taking Jenny for a walk or something. But thank you so much for setting this up and just putting me in the right direction. I really wouldn't have had a clue. If I had just gone into my local JB Hi-Fi and started buying things that wouldn't have worked out so well.
Yeah, yeah.
But
this is what I use for my music and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
good equipment.
And what's your business? You're going to be part of the Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling Championships. What is it? SC Music?
Yeah. For now, it's
SC Music. Okay, so SC Music is the person that is behind, or it's the business that's behind all the audio that's been going on the promotions for the Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling Championships. So keep an ear out, and if you're impressed with the audio and you want something like that, hit up this guy because he's talented. He can come up with just about any sound you want, and he can talk in a million different voices as well. Just to throw that one in there. But anyway. Alright, ladies and gents. Well, Shay, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show as the debut. I know that I told you that Devin Larratt was going to be the first one, but sorry, Devin, too slow. Shay Craig, he is the first man on the podcast, the Pound for Pound podcast. The Devin Larratt will be the first international guest. That's all right. But everybody's been saying we want a podcast, get one out there. So I think this was a good place to start. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Shay, thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you guys again next time.